Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to the next part of my Best of 2016 series, a series where I go over my top 5 favorite films of last year. Now, last time we covered Avengers Age of Ultron. And now for my second favorite film of last year, Mockingjay Part 2. Now, I read the first Hunger Games book in preparation of the first Hunger Games movie because I sort of want to know what it's about and what I'm dealing with. And I remember years and years ago, I was like, oh, I like that cover to the second book, and I'm like, that sort of looks like a phoenix, and now no, it's a Mockingjay. And when some people online were talking about the Hunger Games and PETA and Katniss, I was like, I fucking don't know what they're talking about, so now before seeing the first movie, I'm going to read it. And then I found myself just not able to put the book down, and I ended up reading the second and third one very quickly too. And it was, so there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, please do. Anyways, at the last book, Prim dies, and that is one death that affected me tremendously. I mean, you start talking about Prim dying, and I just sort of tear up. It's really extremely heartbreaking for me. And I was like, will they keep this if they continue on the series? Because killing a kid is really a fucking big deal. It just doesn't usually happen in young adult fiction, which is why it was so shocking to me. It's like, usually shit does not go down like that. And so I was worried about the movie version would keep it. And so as I watched the trailers, I noticed, when those med packs or whatever float down, I'm like, oh my fucking god, it totally seems like they're going to do it. I believe in the first trailer, it was like barely a glimpse of that. Really, it wasn't shown any more importance than any other clip. I'm like, oh my fucking god. And so I was crying my fucking heart out when Prim died. And it was this, like the previous Hunger Games films, has been a very good adaptation. For an adaptation, you never should look for what copies things exactly the same. The Mockingjay Part 1 started out much, much differently than the book, because in the book, the book starts out with Katniss visiting District 12. So it's like, but it did an excellent job. I mean, you were still moved by Prim dying. That scene was still horrific. And sorry, just like that scene, it's just like, ag. And Part 1 was the build-up. It, was in preparation for Part 2, but while many saw Part 1 as being slow, I really highly enjoyed it. It wasn't too slow for my taste. My favorite movie of all time is 2001: A Space Odyssey. So, as long as what I'm looking at is interesting, and as long as the payoff is good, you can be slow and take your time. And so for Part 2, it was very action-oriented. Once they enter going to the Capitol, holy shit. Like, there are traps, and the one scene where that oil thing sort of like just grabs the person up with these lines, and it's just like, oh my fucking god, that is brutal, and that is in a young adults movie. Holy shit. So if you were bored out by Part 1, Part 2 definitely delivers the punches. God, Joanna God, sorry, it just took me like a couple tries to pronounce her name. And Joanna's just a badass. Of course, being a badass does mean she's jaded, and everyone she ever loved has been fucking killed. Because she would refuse to be a whore for the Capitol, because once you won the Hunger Games, well, they would sometimes whore you out if you were, yeah. And so she kept on refusing, so she definitely has some vendetta against the Capitol. And so at the end, when President Coyne says, hey, we're going to start one final Hunger Games, of course Joanna's going to say yes. I mean, she was on the rebellion side, but still, she's very vicious, and while she can be caring, she can also be very heartless for those she thinks deserves it. I love Joanna, but yeah, it was... And as the meme's going on, and Katniss realizes at this point, Katniss has realized that President Coyne not only orchestrated the whole rebellion just to put herself in power, but killed Prim, which I think was a very good safeguard, because if Katniss turned out to be alive, if Katniss turned out to be dead, it's like, oh, it's just another soldier lost, another medic lost. But if Katniss was alive, there is Prim dead to totally knock Katniss out of any reality. So she, Coyne thought she played it smart. And so Katniss has figured this all out at this point, and she looks at Haymitch, and they're really good pals, and it's Katniss basically gives a signal to him, just follow along. I know what I'm doing. This is going to sound fucking crazy, but here it is. And Haymitch is like, I fucking have no clue what you're doing, but I'll follow you. Fuck. So it was a very moving, touching, and great end to the Hunger Games series. It was... Jennifer Lawrence did a great job. Not Chris Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth did a good job as Gale, even though, his character was not exactly likable. And this version, well, not this version, but yeah, he, gives warnings early on that I will do anything to fuck up the Capitol. Anything. Anyone who's working for the Capitol is fair game. And he ends up being sort of toady for Coyne. So yeah, it's not a good day for Gale. That's just... yeah. And I do like how the love triangle was. It was more to highlight the themes of the series, and not just to say, oh, here's a girl wanted by two guys and she can't decide. Because at the beginning, Gale is the clear choice. But because of how all three changed because of the war, really makes it obvious it has to be Peeta, because that's how things have changed. So, Mockingjay, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 is my pick for the second best movie of 2016. Yeah. I'm looking at the time recording, it's like, God, will I be able to fit 2 more vlogs in or no? And do you agree with my pick or not? Why or why not? Please tell me your opinion. What was your second favorite movie of 2016. And I have been Jashikins, owner at jashikins.blogspot.com. And you go into my blog, you can see wonderful vlogs like these, the Amorous reread. I have bunches of stuff on there just to look at. Lovely, lovely stuff. And if you go to my blog, on the sidebar thingy is a poll, and there's a dragon to be named. So, do that. And if you've been watching me for a while and you've been like, how can I help support Jashikins? I've liked what she does and think she should be compensated, like paid for what she does. Compensated would be the right word, right? Anyways, you can, both links are going to be in the description. If you're watching the blog, links will be on the sidebar thingy. And I do writing commissions via Fiverr, so if you want a Hunger Games fic, I'm your person. And and I also have a Patreon, I'm Jashikins on Patreon. So if you, and $1 a month, you get updates on my upcoming ebooks. $5 a month, you get goddamn phone. And for $5 a month, you get an exclusive vlog featuring me. And I will get both of those out hopefully tomorrow, if all things go well. And speaking of Patreon, I have started a new series called Chronicles of Gaia. And the series is post-apocalyptic, and each chapter will be released once my goals are met. Once a goal is met, a new chapter will be released. For those of you, so will be released on my blog, so not everyone will have to pay, but some will. And for those of you who are like, I want to fucking get shit out of this, you will get bonus content, bonus chapters, behind the scenes. Those are the only real two I have planned so far. There might be more in the future. Basically, the bonus chapters and behind the scenes will increase your understanding of the universe I'm creating. But if you're just reading the chapters you can get for free, you won't miss anything of the plot. You know, you'll still be able to follow along. You won't really be missing much, except, you know, if you just want like that extra itch to be scratched, that's the reason. And yeah, and I'll be providing the link in the description for that will explain a little bit more. And if you're watching this on my blog, link will be in the sidebar thingy. And just to warn you, I am setting up a blog for this to make it look a little more professional and sort of, you know, not be confused with all the other stuff I do. And during that time, the link I give you will just be saying, you know, now it's all stuff is moved to this blog, while the link in the sidebar will be linked to the blog. So if you can't donate, just spread the link around. Thank you. And until next video, goodbye.